friends, this is Bishop Baker. I'm Maria. Today I'm going to show you how to dye, tint, color your fondant. Whatever word you want to use, we're adding color in here, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So easy. Someone commented on my video saying, you always say it's so easy. That's because you know how to do it. I didn't always know how to do it. I didn't. I mean, whatever it is, I didn't always know. Okay. But you'll see. When you get to this and you guys do this, you're going to say, that was it? That's what I was worried about? All right. So I put this in the microwave for about 35 seconds to get it nice and soft. And I'm going to just sprinkle some powdered sugar down. While I'm kneading this, I'm going to talk to you. So you probably want to watch this rather than me. So let's play. Before I go any further, I want to tell you, you guys, stay tuned at the end of the video. I'm going to show you how to make a rose, a beautiful rose out of the colors that we just are going to do. And you're not going to use any tools. You're not going to use any tools other than the magic. Really easy and kind of fun. I love the tools, don't get me wrong. I love the tricks and gadgets and stuff like that, but this one you can do if you don't have that. Again, you're going to make this to play with it. So stay tuned. Okay, so a couple of the questions I got were powdered sugar versus cornstarch, and in one or either or both. Personally, in the world that I live in, I don't see an additive to the cornstarch. I don't really know what it brings when I use it, so I don't. I just want it to roll smoothly, and the powdered sugar works, so the powdered sugar stays. But if you wanted to use both, I've seen a ton of people do it, so it can't be bad. Focus. All right, now I had a couple comments. I had a couple comments about me talking too much. You talk too much. Your videos are dumb. I do talk a lot. I'm all right with that. Sorry. But there's a lot to say. Okay, starting here. This is nice and stretchable, which is good. When you can kind of like go in with very little effort, you're ready to go. I'm going to show you 3 ways to do it. 2 I like, 1 I don't. Okay, so because I'm going to do 3 different ways, I'm not going to do it equally, but I'm going to portion it out. This one I'm going to show you on the one I don't like because it's going to be wasted. So, all right, so the 3 different types of food coloring to use. First thing I'm doing is I'm going to just make this nice and soft, ready for my next batch. When I'm not using it, it's going to be wrapped. You always keep air away from this stuff. It doesn't like it. Nothing fancy, just sealed. I have found, my friends, that sometimes we let this kind of stuff intimidate us so much. This is one of the cheapest forms of icing out there. Let's see, a bag of powdered sugar you could probably get for $1. I'm sure at the 99-cent store too. Just sift it really well. That's the biggest trick. And then a bag of marshmallows. So for a couple $bucks, you can put out this product and play with it. Just make it with the intent to mess it up. Then you're going to be ahead of the game. First thing I'm going to do is that one. Well, So with the smallest piece, and I picked the smallest piece because I'm literally going to ruin it. The 3 types of food coloring to use are the powders. These are really good because it's going to really incorporate well. Might take a little more work, but not a whole lot more. And the second type is the paste. I use a lot. These are the two that are going to be the best because the colors are going to be true. With red and black, I don't care what you're using, whether it's royal icing, buttercream, whipped cream, fondant, whatever it is, make it the day before because the color intensifies the longer it sets. So if you need a really, really red, you're going to just keep adding more and more and more and more until you get the color you want, but then you're changing the consistency of your product, no matter if it's fondant or royal icing, whatever. Too much liquid can ruin some of the items, fondant especially, and royal icing actually. So those are the two that I use. The kind that I don't use, I don't even have in my home because it's so terrible. The kind that you get at the grocery store, aisle 7 in the baking goods, and they have these tiny little teardrop, cute little drop bottles, but they're a very wet. That's water based. It's just water. It's colored water, and so you're going to add water into your fondant or your royal icing or whatever it is, and the color is not going to be true. So I made some, just water and some of the paste. Now it looks like a pretty good red, right? It'll be pink. This one might be more red because I put a good squeeze in it. But if you get the one at the store and you want red, and you can put in the whole bottle and you're still going to get a pink. And even then, it'll only be this much. So if you try to dye a batch of buttercream red using that, you're going to water it down and it's going to be pink. So keep that in mind. I'm going to do this with this water base. I don't know what the color is going to look like, but you're going to see. Don't worry about the color. You're going to see what I'm talking about. And because this is so gross, I'm using my gloves. It's funny with when you're a cake decorator, you have colorful hands. That's just the nature of cake decorating. But if I can avoid it, I kind of want to, because I do 30 other things at the same time. So how do they do this at the doctor's office? All right. So this is the water base. Okay. I've just stretched it out, mainly because I needed to kind of cradle this. But gosh. All right, I'm just going to use this. That's actually a better color than you get from the store. And then just mush. Mush, mush, mush. But in order to get it a color that you want, man, I don't know if you can see this, but it's so slimy already. See that? And that's it's not even red. And I don't want to put it on my countertop because it will stain. And look at how tacky it's getting. And I don't even have a color I want. I'm just going to keep at it because I'm trying to achieve a color. And I'm trying to show you guys what I mean. So, I have thoroughly ruined this fondant. Not intentionally, just by using that product. Now, in order for me to salvage this, I would roll it out on powdered sugar, and then that powdered sugar is going to dull this color all the more. Can you see how tacky it is? Yep. So don't use, oh, that's nice. Isn't that nice? Oh yeah, let's put that on a cake. All right, so you get this idea, right? Yeah. Okay, new gloves. Now I'm going to do the powder. And this will be for, I'll use green. Green is leaves or whatever. I'm just picking colors, guys. It's really, but if you're going to make flowers, and at the end of the video, I will show you how to make a rose without any tools. All right, so you got a good amount. And then that's going to depend on how much green you want. And all you're going to do is go back and forth. It's going to mush itself in. Now, when you're doing a big quantity, if you're doing just like a whole cake that's green, you can put the powder in when you add the powdered sugar. Remember, it's going to intensify as it sits. This is the trickiest part, but that's really it. You just sit and knead and think and get your days list going. Do whatever you do. All right, I'm going to keep working on this. Always keep it wrapped. And someone asked how best to wrap it. Just any way you want to, as long as the air is out. That's all you want. Now onto the the liquid. No, I'm sorry, the gel. I'm going to do this one pink. And you could actually use a drop or two of the red. The red will lighten up and it'll get you a pink, but then they've got thousands of colors of pink alone. So pick whatever color you want. I'm just going to grab the first one. Same gloves because I think we're good. Okay. Save that. Now, when I do larger quantities, not the whole batch, but larger quantities, I do like to stretch it out just so I have room to knead in. Now, if I were doing a cake order, I would have definitely changed my gloves. There's just the slightest hint of green on there, but for you, I'm just going to do this so you know how to do it. So this is called soft pink, and then we'll see how soft it is. So I'm going to smush it around and knead. If it's too soft, of course, I'm going to add more. I kind of like the pastels. Okay, I kind of dig the marbled look, and don't be afraid to use something like that. It looks really cool, especially on rose petals, because it really does look very, very natural. I'm going to cut this in half, and then I'm going to make it a little bit darker, and then I'm going to show you how to make a rose with just your hand. Looks weird, right? All I did was flatten it out a little bit, and I put some of the powdered color on here because I don't know where I put my deeper pink, and this is handy. So okay, so this is a nice soft pink. This is even pinker. No, it's not. It's lighter. So you can see there's just enough of a difference. I don't want it too drastic. I want a very subtle difference. Okay, can I tell you how excited I am about this? I've got these colors. Pretty. I like pastels. I like pastels. All right, I'm going to show you how. First, I'm going to show you how to make the leaf. Remember, we're not using cutouts or forms or anything. We're just using what we have handy, okay? Handy. Then there's a thing I'm going to show you that's probably going to be your best friend when you're first starting out. A lot of times I'll show you stuff that's going to be really good for beginners, and then as you get better at it. You slowly separate and you don't use those things that you started off with. I can think of 100 things. When I started cake decorating, I did every basic thing, and now practice does make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. And so now you don't need them, but they're great tools for starting off. It's a confidence builder. So right now, that's what we're looking for. I cannot remember the name of it. They have this product out that's like it's like an edible glue. Okay, I cannot remember the name of it. But what it is, it's a glucose-based something or other that whatever it does, and it's expensive. So I'm not going to use that. So what I do is I make my own. All I did, and this stuff lasts forever because you only use dots. I usually adhere it with my little paintbrush. I don't know where they're at, so I'm just going to use the tip of a knife. It doesn't matter. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter so much, okay? So I put in, I don't know, let me say, let's say 2 tablespoons of syrup, light corn syrup, and half a teaspoon of water. That's it. That's essentially all the other stuff is, and it's like $6 or something for a size smaller than this. Come on, we're better than that. All right, and you need forms. If you want forms, for the roses, I'm not going to use a form, but for my leaves, I am. This one got stuck. So for the forms, I just used a bottle, because I want the leaves to have a curve to it. This is one I made the other day, and it's curved. So when I'm putting it in cakes, I got a nice little bend to it. At this point, you can also take edible marker and draw in the vines. I don't know if you can see the vines, but you can definitely see the marble. I like the marble. We're trying to get as close to nature as possible, which means a lot of flaws. So we're already ahead of the game, right? So I'll show you how to do this and then how to form it and let it dry. Keep this handy. Like I said, until you get the hang of it, you're gonna want this and you're gonna be glad for it. So let's go play. So my glue and my knife or paintbrush or your finger, I'm gonna put those for the flowers. For the leaves, I'm just gonna pinch off a piece. Oh, that was a pretty good grip, huh? That's all right. That's all right. It's covered well. All right. You can keep powdered sugar or cornstarch, I guess, but I'll do powdered sugar. And keep your hands dry. And I'm quite literally just mushing it down. No shape, it's just this. Now, you could take a little rolling pin. I don't have one handy, so I'm not. Besides that, I'm trying to show you how to do this all by hand. So if you want them thin, just keep on going. And all I'm doing, and if I get a little too sticky, I just keep pinching. All right, essentially that's it. I am going to take a knife, and I'm just going to form a leaf in some sort of, I know that doesn't look like a leaf. That's all right. The idea, I just want you to get the idea because I think that you guys show such great initiative when you're learning something, and you really seem to appreciate this. So look, that's a leaf, okay? Now I will take this and just do an indentation and make the vines on the leaf. Seriously, that's it. And then I'm gonna lay it on top. Now, you can either lay it this way and then it's gonna have a big, like a C arch, or you can do it this way and then it'll have a natural flow. I kind of like it at a bit of an angle. This sits until it's dried and ready to be used. And you can make those days ahead of time, guys. So that's essentially it for the, I really mangled that up, didn't I? That's essentially it for the leaf. Okay. And when you do leaves, I mean, if you're going to be making leaves, just, you know, make a whole bunch and then put them aside. You can keep them in an airtight container and they'll last for weeks and weeks, so you can continuously use them. So I'm going to start off with the lighter fondant. This part is really kind of cool. It's going to seem intimidating, but again and again and again, I'll keep reiterating, make this to mess up with, and then you're ahead of the game. All right. Not really sticky. All right, I'm just going to take a piece of this. I'll take a pretty good portion because I want to make a few petals. Always wrap it up. Okay, so again, I'm just mushing it because I need it to be soft. So I'm going to take just a ball and I'm going to roll it. When you roll this stuff, you kind of want to like squeeze it to make it compact, okay? Otherwise, you're going to have a ball and it's not going to really be solid. This is a solid ball, so squeeze it, make it into a ball, and then you have the end, and you're just going to kind of roll it back and forth until you get a bit of a point, okay? That is your base for the rose. Weird, right? Perfect. And I'm going to do 3, maybe 4 petals. When you do flowers, you always want to do odd numbers. So 3, 5, 7 kind of thing is usually when you're making roses for the petals. Now, there's 2 ways to do this. I'm going to show you the easiest way for a beginner, okay? You're going to want almost like an oval, okay? And you're going to just pinch. Now, to make the ends really thin, I'm quite literally almost like snapping my fingers, because you do want the ends thin. And I'm doing this around the whole thing because this is going to be 2 petals. And this is just going to be the easiest way for beginners, okay? It looks like a rose. So I have that here. The ends are thin. And that's all I'm doing. When the ends are thin, you get to form them better. And I'm going to just cut it right in half. Okay, and this is where you will use your glue. So you got your petal. And you want to make it flat so it will stand up on its own to dry. So here's where you can look at the different, this has a little bit of marbling in it. I don't know if you can see without getting blurry. So I'm going to use that because it's just a cool feature. So I'm going to just touch this. I know this is super cheating, but so what? Right now we want to cheat. In no way, guys, okay? There's no random order to this. And then I'm just going to take this and I'm going to pull a little bit, and I'm going to wrap it around and come down. Okay, so I got my first, and because it's thin, I get to kind of open it up. So that'll be, oh, this is sticky. That will be the first one, okay? I'm going to use this. And this makes it easy to hold on to, I'm going to go halfway down the other, or halfway in the middle. I'm going to pull it a little bit, gently stretch it, and tuck it in. And pull it out. Okay? This glue part is going to keep the stain put so that you can be comfortable leaving it alone to get to the next one. And you do not want wet hands, but I got a little too carried away with that one. So this is obviously too big. Let me get one more out of this. All right, so I totally got a blunt edge here, so I'm gonna pull and shape and bend and do whatever I have to get that somewhat fairly. It's gonna be hidden, so don't worry about it. And then a couple of dabs. And I'm gonna start in the middle. That's blurry. In the middle, right about there. And I'm going to pull gently and tug gently. Okay? I'm going to continue doing this. You know what? I'm done with this color. I'm going to use the bright pink, well, the brighter pink for the next color. But everything stays the same. The process is the same. It's just the pink is going to give it a little bit more layers. Right, I just, what shape did I start off? I really didn't start off with any shape, but I know I'm going to end up with some an oval. And don't be afraid to dip your fingers into your powdered sugar to keep it from being too sticky. So just flatten and then pinch. You can see it stretch out when you do that part. It's kind of cool. I don't know why it's getting blurry. Maybe we're too close. Better? Better. Now, these petals are pretty big for this little rose. So I'm going to calm it down. Now, I've got a blunt edge, so I'm just going to fix it. I'm going to take it over and reshape it. And again, don't worry about it because it's gonna hide. A lot of this is gonna be hidden. This is pretty blunt, but that's gonna be hidden. So I'm gonna take a couple of dabs. I don't know if you can see that. It's hard on this angle to see where you're at. And then again, smack dab in the middle of that last petal, I'm going to put this new one. And the glue is just going to give me the confidence to keep it adhered. Okay, and then I can bend it. All right, one more. In the middle, tuck it down. When I say tuck it down, I mean pinch it. Here you can pull and tug. It's really forgiving. All right. So I'm going to do one more row of the pink. of the darker pink. Actually, maybe not one more row, maybe just one more petal. When you become more comfortable, you will be using petals like this shape, okay? But for now, for your first time, the weight is it's gonna intimidate you and you're not gonna wanna mess with it. We'll get to that later, but for now, I want you to be confident enough to say, yeah, okay, I can nail this one down. This is really easy. Okay, I say really easy. It's a little tricky. It's a little tricky, but it's not terrible. All right, so this will be the last petal I put on, and I'm gonna just dab. This stuff is great, I'm telling you. And this is what I use when I'm gonna put designs on the side of my cake, my fondant cake. Okay, so not quite the middle, but I just kind of want it to close. So push this down, and there you go. And then I'm leaving it like this. It's really high, right? You might want some height in some of the cakes, some of the decorations. So leave it until you're ready to decide what you want to do with it. It'll stay like that. This is one I made the other day. It's pretty firm. It's almost like gum paste. So, but the same process. You see the marbling on the color? It's kind of cool. This is the base. This is I just put a tiny bit of yellow in there. And then that's the base. And then these flowers, or these leaves, will sit on a cake like that. Kind of pretty, right? Kind of simple, right? Tackle it, guys. Don't be afraid of it. Mess it up. It's okay. Okay, my wonderful cake decorators, you give it a shot. Play with it. Play with it. Mess it up. Eat it. It's good. It's really good. Definitely not like store-bought. And yes, it is a little sweeter because it is just marshmallow and powdered sugar. But someone asked about the sweet content, and it is sweeter, but it's yummy. And I've never had anybody mention that it takes away from the flavor of the cake, so that's a huge thing. But give it a try, guys. Give it a try, because you won't know. I mean, you can watch 100 videos 100 times a day, and it's not going to make you better. So try it. Try it. Use your hands. Dig into it. Some people do some sculpting. Amazing sculpting. That is not my life. I cannot sculpt a ball. It's sad, it's true. But those that do, man, what a talent. All right, my friends, you rocked this one. Until next time, happy baking.
Ah, that was fun. Don't forget to like and subscribe.